Now, I'm a big believer in having a routine or some sort of structure. But when you're a mummy of four, one of them being an 8-month-old, I tell you, it is very challenging, isn't it, to get some sort of structure in your day. If you doing a side hustle, you've got a full-time job, a part-time job, even if you're at home with the kids all day, every day, it's very difficult to get a structure. But I believe if you really want to do it, you'll be able to make it happen. So I start with a really strict morning routine. So the first thing I do in my little diary, I will list 3 things that I'm grateful for. I'll then set 3 goals for the day. And what I like to do with my goals is do 1 goal for my business, 1 goal for me personally, and 1 goal for my family. So my goals are must-dos. I must do this 1 thing for my business today. I must do this 1 thing for me today. And I must do this 1 thing for my family today. So the business goals, you think, gee, having 1 business goal a day, how can that be enough? Well, it's that 1 really important thing that needs to get done. So I figure if I just have 1 goal, I've got no reason for it not to happen or for me not to get started on it. You know, sometimes you can work all day on achieving this 1 particular goal. You don't quite get there, but you've made a huge dent in it. So I set that 1 business goal, but I also have a great big business to-do list. So I have a sheet on my wall. I don't know if you can see it. I'll turn it over there. See that big long sheet next to the curtain? That's my to-do list. That is my list of all the things I need to do in my business. So whenever I think of something, I must do that, I scoot over and write that on my big list. And then every day I'll reprioritize that list. So I'll put a number 1 next to what is the thing on that list that is the most important thing. So I hope that makes sense. I've got the 1 business goal, but of course if I get that done, plus the 1 thing for me, plus the 1 thing for my family, I can go to the to-do list and get cracking on that. So the must-do for me in my mini goals, that's always the exact same thing. I'm so predictable. But the 1 thing I must do for me every day, it's easy, is exercise and get outside. So I like to either go to the gym or go for a run. At the moment, of course, the gyms are closed. So I've been going for a run every day. That's my must-do for me, and we all know why. The must-do for my family, you know, as a mother, you've got so many things that the kids need you to do, or your husband needs you to do, or the household needs you to do. So I'll always put 1 thing that my family has really been wanting me to do that I need to get done. Whatever it is, I need to be doing those 1 things for my family every day to keep the house together. So that's my 3 mini goals, 1 for the business, 1 for me, and 1 thing for my family. Next, I set my quote for the day or my theme for the day. Now, I'll choose something that I'm thinking about, you know, usually something that's happening in my life or in the world at the time. So today mine was momentum, because I've started this momentum in my business and I want it to keep going. Because I'm really enjoying that, I want to share it with my audience. Then number 4 is I'll do my first post. So I'll post that across all my platforms and across all my business pages. So that's it. That's my must-dos in the morning. And when you think about that, that doesn't take a lot of time. And from that moment on, it's all about the kids, getting them ready and getting out to do some exercise. And that's not just for me, it's at the moment for my husband because he's home with us as well, but also for the kids. Really, really important that we all get our exercise in so we're all healthier and happier, especially during this time of lockdown. One thing I have learned from being in business, in a home business, is that if you're trying to work and trying to be present with your kids at the same time, you do a crappy job of both. Be present. That way you're a better parent, they're happier, you're happier. And you know what, if you're not present, there's no joy. There's no joy to be had. Do you notice that? If you're trying to do 2, 3 or 4 things at once, there's no joy to be had from any of those things. So be present. So when all of that fun has been had, so I make sure they're all settled and happy, and then it's mummy time in the office. So I will have a shower, I will get dressed as though I'm going to work in my office and put some lippy on, and I will get into it, and I'll organise that the kids usually don't interrupt me for a good hour or so. Now, a big tip, you might be wondering, how do you fit all your replies, your comments, your likes, your intentional surfing? How do you do all of that? Because when you've got an online marketing business, you need to be everywhere all of the time and be really present on different platforms. That's what I do in the pockets of my day. So if I'm in the school line waiting to pick up the kids or dropping them off, or when I'm feeding my baby, I'll get in and I'll do 10 minutes of that. I do it only in the pockets of my day, and that makes certain that I do intentional surfing and not just losing time by scrolling aimlessly through Facebook. So basically it's after I've got a couple of hours in the afternoon, then it's time for getting dinner, playing with the kids, doing stuff, housework, all the stuff that we need to do. And then I don't get back to the business until after bedtime. So they're all in bed. By 8 p.m, I'm usually in here. We have meetings twice a week, Zoom calls, which is absolutely wonderful. I love those. But every other night I'm working on the business, whether it be, usually it's learning, it's working on my personal development, it's doing training, it's learning about using social media to grow my business, learning more technical aspects of the platforms, learning about tools to use, but it's learning. It's doing planning advertising, Facebook campaigns, it's brainstorming with my husband, Sean, because he's in the business with me too. It is really, that time at night time is the best 2 or 3 hours. So if I've got 2 or 3 hours there and a couple of hours during the day, that's 5 hours a day to work on my business, which is huge. So if you can accomplish that, you are well on your way to getting some momentum. So guys, I hope that gives you a bit of an insight into how you can manage running your online marketing business from home with a couple of kids and still get all the things you need to get done. But most importantly, and this is why I went into this business, most importantly, you've got balance. So you can be there for your family and you can also grow yourself a business on the side. Okay, you have a great day, and look at your daily mode of operation and see if you can tweak it to give yourself a little bit more productivity and joy. Okay guys, see you later.